Speaker seat.
I don't like the speaker seat.
Speaker seat.
Do you want me to take it?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode.
I was gonna do it.
Brother, you know
do
how
it.
badly I want to be in the speaker seat right now.
I do.
I'll take the speaker
You're
seat.
wonderful.
Three.
I just hate the couch.
2, 1.
Roll the intro.
Evening, officer. Is something wrong?
Just keep your hands where I can see them. Routine traffic stop. We got reports of someone driving under the influence. You know anything about that?
No, I'm only under one influence.
What's that?
The influence of Jesus.
It's time for Under the Influence.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children.
Welcome back to another episode of Under the Influence. I'm your host, Byron Thiessen, brought to you also with my friends.
Jerry Crane.
Jude Crane.
Levi Thiessen.
Oh my goodness, this looks crazy. And we're here again. So, we just want to have some fun, talk with you, and thanks for watching with us.
And we have a guest.
And we have a guest. I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't see her there.
What the heck, Byron?
Guest
I'm
is...
Guest
Jerry
is
Wood.
Oh, there she is.
I'm big, I'm small, and I'm Peri Wood.
Many of you who are longtime listeners have heard me talk about Peri before. We've been dating for a while. And we figured it's about time that she was on an episode. She's super excited. She was like, she's been begging me to do it for a while, and I keep telling her no. And finally, I said, you know, if you put a ring on it, you can be on Under the Influence. So finally, she
I
proposed.
proposed, and after about the
No,
third
not
time, he
yet.
said yes.
I was there.
I
She
said yes
literally...
3 times.
She
Yes,
swept
yes,
him
yes.
off his feet. Only her own ring.
Yeah.
It was amazing. She picked him up, swept him off his feet. It was a really romantic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's very
adventure.
strong.
Threw him in the lake.
I'm very heavy,
Threw him
and
in the
she's
lake.
very strong.
Threw him in the lake. Said the ancient texts. He came back out. Longer hair. I don't know how it works.
Said the ancient texts.
Yeah. Did you not
You're
read
a
the ancient
homunculus.
text? Yeah. You're a simulacrum of what you used to be.
Oh man, that would be a really sad reality. To find out that you're
A clone?
a
You're a
clone of
clone.
yourself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a simulacrum isn't even like
A
organic
clone,
matter.
no.
It's
No, it's...
You're made of snow
Yeah.
and whimsy.
Yeah.
Wait, but
That's your
what's
existence
your
now.
Leslie Snow. That's your
well, I've
Alter
never
ego.
talked about that.
Leslie Snow? He is made of snow.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
Who's
I mean,
Leslie
no,
Snow?
that's not his alias at all.
I don't have an alias.
That's his
I have
alias?
an identity. Leslie Snow.
Leslie Snow.
It is an identity.
No, I told
Identity
her,
theft is not a joke, Jerry.
Jim.
I told her a while ago that if, like, when we were in high school, for example, and we'd be in drama class, and you had to like go up and do improv games and stuff. If you were up in the front, you would like often have to come up with a character, and so the one I would always go to was his name was Leslie, because I thought it was either Leslie or Lauren, because I thought those were, no offense, if kind of funny as a guy's name.
Yeah.
And so I would go with
How
that.
dare you.
But also it would just be easy to always have something right there.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't have to repeat it. But usually I went with Leslie, and then if the last name almost never came up, but in my head I always knew that his last name was Snow.
Like Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Mine
I
was
wasn't thinking Jon Snow. I was more
Robbie
thinking
Pseudo
of
Hands.
Robbie
Pseudo Hands.
I was thinking of President Snow from the Hunger Games
Oh.
at the time.
Oh.
I'm Leslie Snow.
Evil.
He's evil. Leslie Snow is not evil. Leslie Snow.
He's the nephew who's the good guy.
He's a
that's
bit of a
trying to
bureaucrat.
overthrow.
That's exactly what you see on the like 4-color
He's the
propaganda
Ellen
posters he puts
of
up.
the Hunger
Leslie
Games
Snow
universe.
is not evil. He's for you.
He's for you. That's about how far you got to be from the.
I can't be that close. I'm in the crack with Jude over here.
Welcome to the crack.
Yeah, on route with Jude, in the crack with Jude.
Welcome to my solo podcast,
Yeah.
In the Crack with
That
Jude.
would be really funny.
That would be
We
incredible.
use this couch,
April
and
1st.
you literally are sitting in the crack.
Hi, it's an hour-long episode. It's just me.
In the crack. Like we
You
should
start-
do an episode where
You
know
start
when
to
we're-
have guests, and you just bring out a second couch so the other person also sits in the crack.
Nah, or they have to sit in the crack with you, so it's just two people
Yeah.
like
Oh man.
In the crack with Jude.
I gotta pick the most like socially awkward guest I can find. The most uncomfortable person. The
We can
person I
figure
can
that
make
out.
the most uncomfortable.
We can
make that work.
make that work.
Maybe we do this as like a special Patreon only episode, so it doesn't have to be as
You
long.
bring in like Chuck.
Wow, that was rude. You
Well,
said the most awkward.
I don't think it was intended to be
It's
rude.
not meant
because
to be rude. It
Chuck
would just
is
be like
it's like a good mentor of
he's a
mine
really
from high
good
school.
guy.
It's his dad, Chuck. So he's definitely older than me. And it'd just be me and this old white dude. And Chuck, I love you, but I mean he's older than me.
Yeah, we already know that when we have Chuck on the show, it's going to be for him probably slightly uncomfortable
And he's gonna be
because
in
we're
the
going to
crack.
force him to sit
gonna-
on this couch.
Put him in the crack.
And we're going to put him in the crack. We always put guests in the crack.
In the crack.
in the crack.
right?
Yep.
No, we didn't. With Austin, he sat on the end.
Austin's a hard guy.
Because we were like, let's not make this guest sit in the crack.
That's true.
Yeah, we actually went out of our way to say, let's not make this guy sit. in
You
the
know
crack.
what?
And
And
then
Gaga sat here.
That's true. Gaga did
That's
sit there.
true. Gaga.
I don't think I could have got him to sit anywhere else, but also he needed to sit there because he had his laptop or something.
dude, you should get your grandpa to like sit in the crack in that podcast.
My solo ep.
Oh yeah, that would actually be a good show. Probably just
Dan
you and
and
Gaga.
Dan.
Just you and
Dan and Dan.
Dan and Dan.
Dan and Dan.
Yeah.
Dan and Dan. Dan and Dan in
That'd
the
be great.
crack.
I'd love to do a podcast with Gaga. Where
That
it's
would be
just me
cool.
going, what about this?
And he just talks for
And then
a
he just
long
keeps
time.
going. I go, okay, well,
What about this?
what about this then?
Dude, that would be great.
I would love that.
Yeah, we should do that. I'm sure people would love it. I've gotten quite a few comments and stuff from people on the Discord. The Discord? Hey. That's crazy.
Do we have a Discord?
We do.
What?
You know what it is?
What's it called?
It's called Christian Influence. If you're watching this right now or listening to it, then and you like it, well, you can get more of this sort of content over on Discord at discord.gg/Christian Influence. And more than just content, you can learn what Christian Influence is all about. We're a ministry, dare I say budding ministry? Probably beyond budding at this point. We're really going, you know? It's been a couple of years, and we work on online discipleship, evangelism, hosting Christian servers and content like this, and Bible studies, prayer partners, all that kind of stuff. If it interests you at all, just check it out. You can leave if you don't like it. But if you like the show, I'm confident that you'll like it over there. And if you want to support this show, just send it to somebody. If you like this episode or you like a different one, send it to one of your friends. We would really love that. We believe that 80% of the time we have discussion that matters. Well, I should say on 80% of the episodes, not 80% of the time, but 80% of the episodes have discussion that really matters and we hope can affect people in a positive way and glorify God. So if this episode or another one you think one of your friends would like, just send it on over. And if you want to support us more than that, and you absolutely do not have to, you can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Christian Influence. And if you do that, there's a bunch of extra content twice a month. You get a long episode, which is like 10 to 12 minutes, and then a 4 or 5 minute episode. So one, and then one, 2 times.
It's a good
total
community.
A month. It's great. We have so much fun,
great.
and we really believe that we're serving God in it. So
I have been grinding the Minecraft server.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've still not found my base.
I haven't tried.
oof.
Okay, first off, you got beta access, which is so incredibly unfair. And I
Wait,
wish
really?
I had. Yeah. This guy was playing for a week before it was live.
Jude was one of the people like making it.
No.
Yeah, you were part of the decision-making process.
Yeah, but I was the one playing it. I was
Yeah,
play
you were.
testing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You were given access to that special channel, and they were asking
That's
you
true.
for your input.
That's true.
And
Literally-
this server wouldn't have happened the way it's happening if not for your input, because you made sure to tell people like it won't be as successful unless it's this way. Like limit the number of
Oh.
plugins, that whole thing. And look at it now.
Yeah.
Flourishing.
We just recently started a new Minecraft server, so that's one of the things the ministry does. It started as like hosting Christian servers. If you've been listening, you know what we're talking about. But we recently started a new one, and we've seen a lot of traffic from like just random people online been joining lately, and then they join the Discord and they get involved in like somebody that I just talked to is getting involved in Bible study now, and they found the Discord because of that Minecraft server. Super
Yeah.
cool.
It's what we call the vanilla experience.
I
It's
literally
very
took
enjoyable.
all of my beta access time and have been digging a hole.
So this should not be made public though. That's absolutely cheating. I'm just kidding. Digging a hole.
I literally all
Levi's
I've done.
banned.
Why
I
would
found
you
I
spend a
found a
week
mountain and I
digging a hole?
dug a hole.
Dude,
Why?
I put like 16 mangrove trees in a circle.
Dude, I've dug a hole from like 120 down to -60.
He's
in
quartering.
a 12 by 12, and then I'm making it a 20 by 20.
Wait, like you did that one time?
Yeah.
Okay, we had that one server, and you dug a huge hole from the top of a
Straight
mountain
to the
down,
underworld.
and then you made like a fortress on top, so that if you were at the
Yeah.
top, you fell down, you'd die.
That's the way to do
Yeah.
it.
Except this time, instead of making a fortress on top, it's gonna be a lake.
Why don't you make Mount Doom? You're right. That's dumb. My bad.
That's really
That's a bit
dumb.
big.
Come on.
I mean, it's a.
I just thought that Levi would go. I didn't think of that. But
I mean, I've thought about doing stuff like that.
Then he'd have to use all those rocks he got from the hole. Instead
Dude,
of
I
keeping
have
them.
so many chests filled with cobblestone and deep slate. Like
These are my
I
16
have-
chests of rocks.
I have so much. I had a creeper come by, blow up my chest. I didn't even bother to pick it up because it's all just rocks.
I like rocks.
Levi does look like somebody that would like rocks.
I do love rocks.
I love quarrying in that game. It's a fun game. You should get on.
Yeah, if you are listening and you play Minecraft and you want to play with some Christians, you should join. It's a whitelisted server, which means you have to be in our Discord to play, which helps keep it controlled and private.
So if you dig a hole though, don't you just die in the hole? You can't get out.
I have
can
a
jump and build.
I have a ladder that goes for 180 blocks. It takes like a few minutes to
For
get back
reference.
to the top.
That's a ladder that's 180 meters long.
Okay, because I've played Minecraft like 2 times, and both times I dug holes and I died in them.
Did you dig straight
I didn't
down?
get out. Kind of, and then I tried to fix it, and I died. And then I would go explore a cave, and then I would die because I couldn't get out. It wasn't very fun.
Are you a gamer?
That makes her
Clearly.
a gamer. Right?
She is a gamer.
She is a gamer.
Clearly.
Yeah.
The
Hardcore
Minecraft
gamer.
experience for her is the Dark Souls experience.
I've always thought you were more like a Call of Duty person.
Oh yeah.
You know, like a Black Ops 2 kind of.
Never played Call of Duty. I'm more
You've
of
never
a Sims
had
No
person.
Russian.
Sims.
Sims.
Sims? You play Sims?
Yes.
That's awesome.
She
I
only
love
plays it
Sims.
though so that she can put people in the pool and then remove
No.
them.
And then remove the ladder to get
I
out.
totally threw her under the bus.
I'm getting really tired of swimming.
No, okay. I spent so long. I made this beautiful family. You know, we had a house. We had like kids, and they grew up to the point where my Sims were old, and then their kids were having kids, and they were all like.
It was in the South.
They married other people.
Oh.
And then they were having kids, and it was like, I was like, I'm so proud of my family. It's beautiful. And then my sister, she's like, what you doing? And I was like, look, I've spent so long. Look at my family. And she's like, oh, wow, move. And she just like shoves me to the side, takes the mouse, and then she put the dad, the old grandpa, in the pool. And then she took out the ladder. And then she like sped up the time and held me back as I'm like, and the poor guy's like, swim, swim, swim. And he's like, his little green thing's going to
His
yellow.
stamina is-
And then to red. And he's like, and then he died. And that little Grim Reaper guy came and I was like, no.
You have to watch as the patriarch of your entire.
Well, being held
existence.
back, like trying
like-
to
Yeah,
get
I
to your
was like,
computer.
no, Celeste, let me do this. No.
That's
She just
incredible.
let him die. And
That's
then once he
incredible.
died, she just let me go. And I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
There's not enough natural disaster in your world. Let me just introduce a little.
That's not very natural.
No, that's true.
A cosmic being forces you into a pool. You're like, what am I doing?
Pulls
And
out
then
the ladder.
The ladder just on the roof.
What do I do?
I guess I'll swim.
Sorry, Celeste, for throwing you under the bus, but,
Yeah, she listens.
you know, yeah. She kind of does.
Listen?
She does.
Kind of. I think she does.
No, she
does.
plays it. She just doesn't always listen. She kind of listens.
She goes back and forth between
Yeah.
the old ones and the new ones.
She hears it.
But she's
but
usually
doesn't
pretty
listen.
current on the new ones, yeah, because
Yeah.
I called her out in a previous episode, and she was like, I heard that.
I'm gonna hurt you. That's what she said.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's what I said.
Oh no! Oh gosh! I called her out in the episode. I was like, Celeste. I definitely saw Jacob in Coastal.
You saw Jacob?
Oh.
Oh, someone else is getting a shout out. He's gotten this before.
Whoa.
Jacob, Perry's brother-in-law.
If you're listening, Jacob, I'm always watching. You ever feel like you're being seen in a random storefront? Just Do a little 360. You'll find someone. Short hair, looking at you, blue eyes, kettle corn. It's me.
Just inside a kettle corn bag.
Yeah, I just literally, he was sitting there and there was some problem with the checkout, and so he had like a reason to stay there for a while, and the whole time I was just like,
He was threatening the cashier.
Is it him? Yeah, he was really rude, actually. Grabbed the cashier by the
You were
hair.
trying to stare hard enough that he would get the sense that he was being watched.
Yeah, and they didn't. So just everyone else in the line saw me going,
So creepy.
Jacob.
No, Jacob's the biggest UTI, I think.
I love it so much.
If I had to say-
Like, I'm a UTI, but he's a bigger UTI.
Like your little UTI, he is a massive UTI.
I mean, yeah.
UTI guy.
He's not nearly as committed as you are, considering we're getting married.
Yeah.
Well,
Jacob,
I've got
if you
some
really
news.
want to
Jacob,
be...
you better put your money where your mouth is, because Levi's still single over here.
I don't see a ring, Jacob.
So Peri,
Nice.
It's
what's
just
the
a lot
best
more laws.
microwavable food?
Maybe those, like, frozen burritos.
Jimmy Dean?
No.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
We know what Jude was thinking, and then just
Like the delicious cheap
manifested
ones.
it.
Those are good.
In like the orange wrapper and the blue wrapper?
The ones that say
don't
that they
remember.
may
It was a
cause
long time
cancer
ago.
in California.
Everything says that.
In California, they make us. Why only in California do they cause cancer?
Because by law, if something has like the really, really tiny chance, it has to say that it causes cancer when it's being sold in California. But the rest of the 49 do not care if it's by that margin. So it says may cause cancer in California. So people don't go, oh, this may actually cause cancer. No, just if you live in the California bubble.
If you eat Doritos while you're in California, you get cancer.
Yeah.
I saw, so my stepdad, Jim, really likes to get stuff from the dollar store. And he was getting like Cheerios and stuff from there, which are not good. I'm sorry.
Dollar store
They're
Cheerios.
really-
Or Cheerios
They
in
like
general.
immediately dissolve, basically. But on the box, I was like, are you sure these are good? And then I looked at the box and it said exactly that. It was like, may cause cancer. And I was like, huh, Jim, maybe you shouldn't eat this.
They were $1.
But
I'll
they're
risk
only
cancer.
$1 because they use asbestos.
Because they use
It's so cheap.
The way that they cook them is with radiation. It's a radiation oven. So
Yeah, we take cornmeal and blast it with radiation, and then it just
And then
comes
it
out these
comes out
weird little circles.
circles.
And we eat them.
they put a pile of cornmeal,
Yeah.
and then it comes out in a bunch of little. Doing, 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 doing.
Some of them grow like eyes and tumor. It's weird.
It's
you know?
weird, but they're kind of cute, you know.
Just discard those.
These little barley circles with eyeballs, like.
Did you see? Ah, never mind. It
So
doesn't
that's the
matter.
best microwavable food.
yeah, and the worst is soup. Because it takes forever to microwave. Like when I go to work and I
Oh.
have soup, it takes like 3 minutes. And then I keep, like, I take it back to my seat and I try it, and it's still cold in the center and like burning hot in the outside. And even if I mix it up, then it's just like lukewarm.
Do
have to
you
go back.
microwave it with the bowl in the very center?
Yeah.
So, apparently you're not supposed to do that. You need to have it on the outside so that it moves around inside the box, because the waves aren't going, the microwaves don't go through the box in, like, it's not like the static throughout. It has bubbles, pockets of where there's more waves and where there's not. So if you have it not in the center, I learned this. I used to be a center, like,
Used to be a centrist.
cooker.
Center purist.
But now, I have to be far out.
You're
It doesn't matter.
far right.
Now he's far
No,
right.
it doesn't matter if it's far left or far right or far authoritarian.
You know what's incredible
or
about
not.
this though is that you are literally being the voice
Of the radicalized,
radical,
radicalized American
on either side.
on either side.
You're
Yeah.
incredible. And
But
look at
no,
your shirt.
as long, yeah, American.
What a radical.
No, but as long as you have it on the outside, it's moving around more, so you get. It's not perfect, but you get a better.
You know how Levi knows this?
I would love.
Because he tried it on that hamster a while ago.
Yeah.
It brought
My
back to life.
hamsters
That's
keep
the
coming
best
out lukewarm.
microwavable
Allegedly.
food.
I would love
Levi's favorite microwavable food is a hamster.
Allegedly, a hamster.
Since Levi is the voice of the radicalized American, if he was at January 6th, and there's all these people, and Levi's just like, guys, the soup! You can't put it in the center! What are we doing here? Like, who's this guy? I'm the radical
Stop knocking
American.
my stuff off.
I'm trying really hard.
Yeah. You're also like actually, dude. You might be too loud this episode.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're a little too close, and you're yelling a lot. So we're gonna move that.
Yelling?
You just were, but you've been a
loud.
little loud. But don't change.
Right.
Change.
No, don't change.
Should I stop yelling?
No. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll just move the microphone.
Got it.
Look at that. All right, Byron, best microwavable food.
Popcorn.
Oh, pretty good.
It's easy.
Say no more.
You just push the button. It does the rest.
Say no more. Well,
And
it'll
then you
burn
get-
if you just.
It's okay because if you put it and not if you don't put it in the center, like they were saying,
It
doesn't burn.
Are you serious?
I don't know.
Okay.
Using his logic.
I mean, most of the
Using
time,
that
if you
radical
don't
left
put it
logic.
in the center,
I mean, right. Oh goodness.
if
You
you
can't
don't put it
label
in
the
the
guy.
center with popcorn, it just keeps hitting the side and spinning.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but it spins in like one spot because it keeps catching on the like
On fire.
And that's how you light it on
on
fire.
fire.
Yeah.
Levi, what's your best microwavable food? We already know Jude's is Mr. Jimmy Dean. Mr. James Dean.
I mean, once I figured out how to actually like properly cook hot pockets in a microwave, they're pretty good.
What's the proper way to cook a hot pocket?
I don't know. I just found the
However
correct
you'd
time
cook a
and
hamster.
being it in the however you cook a hamster.
Do you put the pop?
It actually
pocket in the
doesn't
center?
matter where you put the hamster because it's gonna move around anyway.
Yeah.
But allegedly, and but as long as you have it outside of the middle, and I don't remember what the right time was, but I would do it for work.
It's also insanely like I just forgot microwave. I just forgot the word for microwave for a second. It completely left my vocabulary.
Every hot radiation box.
Every microwave is set to like a random power level. It
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll just go home or to a friend's house, and it's like, why did this take 5 minutes at my friend's house? Oh, our microwave is just
Because theirs
set to
wasn't
not
set
work
to
as
over
well.
9,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, ours is just at 100.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like the same thing for like getting where the hot water is actually okay
What?
with like showers.
Oh yeah. It's always, it's
know-
never consistent.
I think this is a really interesting topic that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Best microwavable food is the El Monterey chimichangas.
The El Monterey.
That's what I thought she was talking about.
Yeah.
I might be talking about that. I
She
don't
might
know.
be
Do you like the
about those.
burrito ones or the chimichanga
I
ones?
haven't had them since I was like in like when I was like 14. So
It could be. I don't know. I feel like those ones came out when we were in high
I
school.
don't think El Monterey existed.
They
I don't know,
were-
but I ate them a lot when I
No,
was in high
there
school.
Monterey
were
definitely
because I would
existed.
go to
What are you
Houston's
talking
house and he would have them all the time.
Okay. Yeah, the chimichanga ones were better. They're the longer, a little bit longer. Oh, so good. Super soft. I ate 1 or 2 of those for lunch almost every day, like junior, senior year.
Yeah, high school was full of those.
High school was full of it.
I was full of them.
Do you guys have a air fryer?
We used to, but it got recalled because it said it like would
Air
explode.
fryers are so nice.
you put
I use
the-
it more than my microwave.
You put those burritos in the microwave for like half the time, so they're not done yet. Then you throw it in the air fryer. Oh, like the
Really?
shell is done. It's all nice and warm on the inside because you microwaved it because it nucleifies the middle.
Nucleofied.
Nucleified. And then you can put it right in the air fryer and you're perfectly done.
I bet the
Gyrodos,
chimichanga ones would be
Supplies.
really good because it like crispy the outside a little
Cause,
bit.
yeah, because I do it with corn dogs. But if you throw the corn dog directly in the air fryer, it just like it just fries the outside and the middle is frozen.
No,
This one I
if
do.
you do it
Almost
at the right temperature.
Or if
Yeah.
you put it on the edge.
You
so
have
that
to put it on the
it's-
edge. Exactly.
Your air fryer spins. The whole thing.
It is fancy.
If you're in a rush, you just throw it in the microwave. for
the
like
the
30
entire
seconds,
apparatus
30
spins
seconds,
so it doesn't
done.
change the
Throw it
food
in
at
the
all.
Air fryer. 2 minutes later, it's done.
air fryers are sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
air fryers are the
And
best
they're
thing. in the
so fast to cook everything. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to wait very long at all.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's
They
just
are great.
it's
What does
just
an
a
air
co-
fryer do?
It's a convection oven.
Right?
It's just a
Kinda,
small
yeah.
convention.
It's a small convection oven.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's true.
It's so nice.
And it's
They're
quicker
really,
than a
really great.
microwave?
Not necessarily.
Not
but, like,
necessarily, but it cooks more thoroughly. Like
Yeah, well, it cooks it more than
like
just
it actually cooks it instead of microwaving it, so you don't have to rely on there being water in it.
Yeah, it's
No
like
thanks. I'll stick to radiation.
okay, but it's he's right. It's like a little convection oven, so it just a really really small,
Really condensed.
and so you can cook like I would cook fish in the air fryer and it would take like 6 minutes.
Was that me?
that was you.
I thought it was you.
No, it was you. I remember specifically that it was you. Okay. It's hilarious.
Well, in all seriousness, we're like 30 minutes in now. In all seriousness, what we said earlier is true. Perry and I actually are engaged. Most of you listening have heard me talk about her for a long time. I love her very much, and we're very excited to be getting married. And we wanted to announce that to people. But also, I wanted to say real quick, Jude has agreed to be my best man.
What? You said yes?
I said yes.
Yeah. I actually texted Perry, I think exactly that. I was like, Jude said yes.
With a little emoji with like the little smile and a tear.
Yeah.
It's real sweet.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That sounds sweet.
But also, I thought this would be fun to do on the podcast. I would like the two of you to be two of my groomsmen.
What?
You want me
Yes.
to be in your wedding? Me?
Really?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
It was a joke for Levi, but Byron, he really wants you to.
I knew it was a joke for Levi.
I was looking forward to this day since high school.
Yeah.
And you're just taking it away from me, Jude?
Yeah.
Levi, I felt a little bad the past few days because I was saving it for today to like ask on the podcast, and I feel like I could feel a
There
little
was
bit
a little bit of tension.
yeah, of expectation. Like I was like, yeah, we've figured out some stuff, but there's some things we haven't figured out yet.
Like best man?
But I've figured this out.
Like he was, I asked him like, hey, so how much do you have like
Yeah.
planned out and stuff? And he's like talking about all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, and I have my entire honeymoon, and like blah 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 blah. We've got like venue and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, all right.
Because you can't. There's no way you can be like
Am I gonna
best
be
men. You know, have you thought
best
about
men?
Have you thought about
There's only one
bestest
best
men?
groomsmen? I'm
You're
sorry.
the one.
I haven't been married. I'm
Best
not. You know,
The bestest
I
men.
can't remember
Best.
the bestest men.
I kept hinting it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah. I was trying.
Okay, to be honest, when I
was like-
I
we
did
were
that,
talking.
I didn't have any. I wasn't even thinking about groomsmen and stuff.
Sure, buddy.
No, like
I'm just
honestly,
kidding. I know.
like it didn't even cross my mind.
When we were hanging out at Bible study, I was like, he's like, oh, I have a lot of stuff going on and a lot of things I have to get done. I'm like, oh yeah, what kind of
Yeah,
things?
you were.
What kind of things?
But it's important for you guys to know. So, as groomsmen and bestest mensch over here, there are just some responsibilities. Obviously,
If
I
he
wouldn't
dies, who
ask
takes
you
over?
who takes best man. Dude, you're just asking me. So, part of the reason I chose Jude as my best man,
No,
number
I-
one,
Because I'm unkillable.
he's
Because I'm unkillable.
Jude is
Because
unequivocally
he's-
my best friend.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
my
No, I
brother.
know.
I couldn't
I'm
ask
joking.
anybody else. But also, there's a lot of friends that I love, and I would feel so
No, I know.
bad asking one, right? And so by asking who's the understudy, you know,
No,
Joel.
yeah.
Joel's the understudy.
Yeah, because he's your brother.
So then if Joel and Jude die,
You wanna- what's that
like
called?
like a fatal
The
crash.
designated survivor.
Yeah.
yeah, who's the designated survivor?
If
If we
Joel-
bomb your house,
If Joel and Jude died
Can we at least
in the
postpone the
next 3
wedding
months,
a little bit? You know.
then maybe we should not get married.
Whoa, what?
Maybe we just move it, right?
Two of your siblings die.
Yeah.
I
And
can
then you're
do
just
this.
like, that's so sad.
I can break.
Let's
them
get
up.
married.
That's not how I would do it. It would just be sad.
I just have to
but-
kill 2 people.
No, he'd be like, Byron, I need you to be my best man, and then he'd say, let's get married,
Oh.
because he's the
Wow.
designated survivor.
Designated survivor. No, we're not going to do that.
You guys have to fight to the death. if you
But
We have to
I
fight to
wouldn't-
the death if you both die.
I wouldn't ask you guys to be groomsmen if I didn't think that you'd meet the responsibility of it. It's super important to me that the bridal party is involved in what we want the wedding to be about, which we want it all to point back to and glorify God first, right? So I obviously don't think I need to tell you guys this because it's going to be an issue, but I think that often it doesn't get talked about before weddings. I've been in enough where I've been like, they're like, will you be a groomsman? And I'm like, sure. And then I have no idea what I'm doing. And I just do what I think I'm supposed to do. But I want to set expectations pretty clearly. So I think it's super important that the bridal party is of service to people. So while you're there, just obviously consider how you can be Christ-like. And I want to be of service to people while they're there. And I want the bridal party to be involved. It's expected that the families kind of help and work together to make things work out. But it's expected of the bridal party as well. So, and then just, you know what? Exemplify servant leadership. That's something that's really important to both of us. And we want to be exemplified at the wedding. So Yeah, that's why I asked you. And you guys are my bestest buds.
Woohoo!
There's gonna be so many UTIs in the wedding party.
Yeah.
So
My
many.
groomsmen.
We're gonna dehydrate our water hole.
And yeah.
And now the bridal party will do a shot of cranberry juice.
Because they're all suffering from UTIs.
We're actually gonna record an episode, like as the groomsmen, like during the wedding.
Well, not during the wedding, but
No, during the
Like
ceremony.
right before.
I've thought about.
We'll be
So-
commentating.
It's cool that you guys are having this idea on your own, because
The wedding is on a Saturday. I don't know if you're announcing the date yet or not.
I don't think we need to make that a public thing.
But
nobody's gonna know where we are.
October
Just in
1st,
case.
Saturday, 4 o'clock,
in October.
right
it's,
here.
it's in October.
Right
It's
here.
a Saturday.
In the crack of the couch.
In the crack of the couch.
And the crack in the couch.
1128 Wormwire Road.
Worm wire.
Wormwire.
So we during the wedding on Saturday. We normally record on Saturday, so we're gonna have to record a UTI prior to the wedding.
We're not gonna be recording any UTIs, but
Oh no, we're recording one of these under the influence, or
Yeah.
one of the podcasts before the wedding in our outfits on video.
I
If-
think it would be fun.
Oh, please tell me that we
I
did
already
it.
talked to her about it.
She said yes.
She said
The
yes.
second most important yes
She
of
said
her
yes to the
life.
dress.
The second most.
So I've been thinking
Wait,
about
so
it.
does
I
Jesus
think,
come third?
Okay, all right.
I think it would be super fun if, when we're dressed up, like well in advance, we get dressed up in what we're wearing, and we do an episode of Under the Influence. And we could call it like the one where Jerry gets married or something. Like, you know how Friends has it. Like,
Oh, okay. I didn't know Friends. It was just like,
Isn't it-
we could call it something like the one where Jerry gets married.
No, but like it's like the thing in Friends. It always named the titles would be like super on the nose, like the one where this happens or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like when people are talking about, oh, what's that episode? It's the
Yeah.
one where blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
so
that's
they just
clever.
started naming it.
Yeah.
The one where blah, blah, blah.
We re-record the intro, so we're all in our outfits too.
I like that idea.
Probably less likely to happen.
It'll happen.
But that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Or we could have the music instead of the like party music, if it's just wedding music during the intro.
Yeah, there you go.
We should just recreate the Friends theme or intro.
We could do the Friends intro.
That would be kind of adorable.
Yeah, but we're all in our
would be
suits and
cute.
everything.
Yeah, that would be kind of adorable.
Actually.
Don't
But-
quote me on this, but it will happen.
This may or may
100%.
not happen, but I think it would be a great idea. It'll be a different set. We won't worry so much about making it super fancy. Either by then we'll have some sort of mobile mics, or we'll just have these mics and the laptop, and we'll just set up on a couch at the venue where we're all getting ready.
Oh,
and
at the
stuff.
venue, it won't be
Won't be
at
here.
Cancun on the honeymoon.
No, because you won't be there.
Wait, what?
We're not gonna be
I thought
there.
we were
We're going
chaperoning.
Yeah, the bridal
men are
party
going
all
to
comes
Cancun.
Oh, I thought that you were coming with the bridal party.
They're
to
doing their own
Cancun.
honeymoon. Or the
Yeah.
best man honeymoon
Hey,
is in Cancun.
the bridal party is welcome to go on a trip of their own if they'd like.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Not where we're going.
not where we're going. So apparently we need to make sure we don't tell you where we're going. Because no offense,
What?
you're not invited.
We're not invited.
No.
What?
Dude. We're
Wow.
your best men.
I don't know if I
You're
want to.
a best man.
That's right. I keep forgetting.
I don't know if I want to be a groomsman now.
Sorry, man.
Oh man.
That means I can
invited?
just ask my runner-up.
It's like military rank. They just put the
Oh,
pin
hey,
in
guess
your
who's
arm.
marrying
They just
us?
put the pin in.
Guess who's officiating? Did I already tell you?
Who?
Chadwick Boseman
No, he's dead.
He's
from
dead.
beyond the grave.
That's weird, man. No, Matt.
Really?
It's gonna be great.
DK, our guest from like season 1.
Matt Van
Yeah,
Claveren.
Matt Van Claveren. Yeah. No, it's gonna be super great, and you're gonna love this. I don't know if I already told Byron or not. Maybe I did.
You did.
But the people doing the MC, Matt and Chad together, like at the auction.
Oh yes,
that's
Can we
incredible.
put him in captain
Are
uniforms
they gonna be in
again?
captain uniforms
I
again?
doubt it. They always. I guess it was that an always thing.
No,
One
but the
year,
last
that
one
was-
that was the most like
Yeah.
they had outfits.
They
They
were
went
like-
together. They
yeah.
both had the captain's hat, the button-up shirt, and it was.
It looked
fun.
like a little sailor outfit.
Captain,
my
It was
captain.
really. I'd rather not, but
They could be
Why are
Sailor
they dressed
Moon
like
outfits now.
sailors
Yeah.
at your wedding? He's officiating, and he's like, "Sorry,
takes a cigar out of his mouth.
oh, anchor hat."
Yeah. No, I'm super excited about that. I think it's going to be so fun.
Do you, Jerry?
I specifically thought like
Take Peri.
there's gonna be a period of time where people are waiting, after the ceremony and stuff, if we're getting pictures. And I was like, well, there should be some form of at least entertainment. And what better entertainment than the two of them, just being doofuses.
I could think of one thing.
What?
You'll just have to wait and see.
Are you gonna sing?
Well,
I just want the groomsmen to know there will be surprises. But not for us.
Oh,
Dude.
will be the surprises.
Yeah, it's going to be a bomb. No, we're probably going to do a musical
IRA are coming
number,
to town.
like fireworks.
I'm so ready.
On The Office
podcast.
when they like dance down the aisle thing
Yeah.
instead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
How
yeah.
about you don't do that?
No, I've
Wait,
never
you
been a fan of
don't want
that.
people to dance down the aisle.
No. We'd rather you do what we want.
I guess
We could do that, or we could not.
You could.
But here's
It's
the
an
thing.
option.
Since it's your
that we're not gonna
big
go
day.
with.
We're not gonna explore the option, but
We're not going to explore every option.
no. But that's it. That was the announcement. I figured I wanted to have her on the show for a while because she's great and I love her. And it was always like, well, we're not engaged, we're not married, so just in case, maybe don't be on the show.
Maybe
right?
it doesn't work out.
But at this point, it was like, well, you're locked in.
Also, it's kind of terrifying to go on this show.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, we
Why is
film
it
in front of a
terrifying?
live studio audience, so.
Look at that
Yeah.
tiny
Yeah.
little audience right
Look
there.
at all
They're in
these
that black
people
box.
that I'm talking in front of.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Love you.
So
I think that's it
stressful.
about the wedding, huh?
I love you, Metro Man.
Yeah, that's it.
I love you too, random citizen.
Oh, hang on.
Out with Joe.
Only I can hear it.
It is so jarring to not hear it.
Yeah,
I
you
really
chose.
thought,
Yeah.
wow, that's crazy. En route with Jude. If you don't know, I deliver kettle corn for a living. It's exemplary. And sometimes on these delivery routes, I encounter strange and wonderful and maybe even whimsical experiences. This last time, I want to make sure I'm telling the right one. No. It's the thing I sent you. On Tuesday, after my route, my hair was long. I needed a haircut. I regret it. So I went to a little place that I like to go to. And while I'm waiting, because I didn't check in beforehand, so I had to sit there for like 30 minutes, I kind of talked to the guy next to me. And I'm just realizing it was actually a really good conversation. I told him about Christian influence. I gave a card to one of the guys getting a haircut because he was a youth pastor up in Aurora. But while I was waiting, the windows to the haircut place are kind of tinted from the outside. And so you can't really see in when you're outside. And I'm just kind of looking out at the people walking up and down the sidewalk. And this guy comes by with an empty water bottle. And he just throws it behind his back into the trash can right beside the door. And he misses. And the bottle falls to the ground. And then he notices, he turns around, he comes, picks it back up. But he doesn't just put it in the trash. He tries 3 more times
To throw it
to
behind his
throw
back.
it behind his back
What
from
a
a
boss.
distance of like 2 feet. And he fails 2 more times.
That's kind of cool.
It
though.
was awesome. I was the coolest person ever. I'm just watching this guy, and he's like, and it was
How
really
old,
funny.
How old was he?
Probably like 27, 28.
Guy.
He did not seem like he had his life together. But he really wanted to throw that water bottle behind his back.
Did he ever get it?
Yeah, he got it on the 4th try. Third try.
Nice.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
Yeah, and they just kept
He keeps
walking.
like saying a cool phrase.
Didn't
each
look
time.
back. Yeah. Catch you on the flip side.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was en route though.
That was
or
my
that
en
was
route.
on haircut.
Technically,
route?
it was
on
on
your
route
route.
because I still had to take the van back to the shop.
So you were getting paid for that.
Yes. No, I'm on salary.
Out with Joe.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for that en route segment,
You're
Jude.
welcome.
That was incredible.
Yeah. So, you guys want to hear about the proposal?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 No, not really.
Okay. Then we can do something else.
All right.
Oh yeah, so let's hear
Whatever.
about
You
it.
guys been playing video games or anything exciting?
We were playing video games. Yeah.
Really?
I did it over a voice call in Minecraft.
Oh my goodness.
His
Really?
character went down on one knee
Yeah.
to my character.
Did I already tell each of you about the
give you
proposal?
this
I don't think I've told
golden
Levi,
nugget.
right? Levi, did I tell you about it?
You told me like 2 things about it, and Perry told me a little bit about it.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
We didn't tell them.
Yeah, but if I've already told you guys.
Why don't you tell the listener a little bit about
Yeah,
it?
tell
All
them.
right, if you twist my arm. So we went. Don't do it.
Come on.
Don't do it. There's a fly. No way. Grab it.
Quickly as you can.
Levi, grab it. Grab it. Do it. No way.
He's like getting close.
Dude, I got so close.
Yeah, you
should have done it
insane. Like 30 years
Right
ago.
when
you
it was
should've
here,
done
you
it.
should have.
You should have just gone.
pinched. It couldn't have gone anywhere. You
There's
just picked
no
it right
way.
up. You would have grabbed it by the little feet.
It would have flown
It
away.
definitely.
All right, so I had a bunch of just like things really work out. One of the things being the ring. Like at every step, it was like, how is this going to work out? Am I going to have this? Am I going to have that? And like when I took it to the place to have the diamond put into the setting, I found the setting. It was perfect, and it was very affordable. And it was like I found that in an evening, and had some help from Adam and Michelle, who run the Bible study that we go to on Saturday nights. Well, usually I just point to Byron, but
Peri
you go
also
as
goes
well. And they helped me pick out the setting, and then I took it to Shane Co. and I got the diamond put in the setting there.
You have a friend.
Shaneco.
Yeah.
At shaneco.com.
You have a friend in the diamond.
And it was great because I was pretty certain, like, from my resident jewelry expert who was helping me, that it might be up to like $200 to have them put the diamond in the setting. And then I called ahead of time too and just double checked with them. And the guy I talked to was like, it's minimum like $200. It might be up to $400. And I was like, oh goodness. Like some of the money I was saving now, it doesn't really seem like it matters. Like I'm still going to be looking at like maybe my original budget. Cause I was all excited. Like I had a budget for it and I was like way under. I was like, this is so cool. Peri's going to love that. Well, then I got there and I'm just like white knuckled, like, come on, dude. I'm real bummed if they come back. I won't be bummed, but it'd be like, it's going to be $400 just to put this over here. And so the lady's like talking to the technician guy or whatever for a while, and she keeps going. I keep hearing her go like, "Oh, really? I guess I could tell him that." Okay, and I'm sitting over here like, dude, how much? Like this is gonna be $800 to put this stone in? Like I don't know. I've never bought a ring before. Like this is insane. And then she walks back over and she's like, "So, I talked to the jewelry guy, whatever he's called." Commander. We'll call him the jewelry commander.
The jewelry commander.
And she's like, he said they can do it for $60. And I was like, What? That's incredible. So it was way lower than I'd ever heard. And I was sitting over here thinking like it's going to be $800 or something insane. So it was really cool. And then I was like, then I'm thinking at the time, this was on a Wednesday. It was last Wednesday. So like 10 days ago. I was at Shane Company. I already had this other ring that I was taking a diamond out of that somebody had given to me, which was incredible. It was so nice of them. And then I took that ring to them. Was taking the diamond outright. It's on a Wednesday. I'm thinking like, well, I would like to propose as soon as possible. But what's reasonable to assume is that it's going to take them a few days. And so I need to do this on a Saturday because of what I had planned. So it's not going to be able to be this Saturday. It's going to have to be next, which if it had been that would be today. But I'm like, well, that's fine, right? She goes, and it looks like they can have it done Friday. And I was like, I could do it this Saturday. Like I could propose in like 3 days. Like this is very real now. Like this is insane. And I was like, all right, I'll be back on Friday at 3:00 to pick it up. And so I went back on Friday, picked it up. They were super nice. It looked beautiful. It's really, really pretty. I'm so happy with how it turned out. And and then I'm like, all right, it's crunch time. Like, am I doing this tomorrow? And we were supposed to play D&D that night. And I was like, I kept saying to Judas, like, I can do it all. Like, I'm so busy. All day I was so busy. I was so tired. The next morning I was going to have to get up so early. I was like, I can just play D&D for like an hour and a half, 2 hours with you guys, then go home. Then I had to write out myself like an itinerary. At the very least, like, I was treating it like I would another speech. So even if I don't use a page there, I still have to write it completely out because that's kind of how I remember it, so I can visualize it in my head that way. And I was like, I have so much to do tonight. Then I have to get up at 2:30 in the morning, like, and so we canceled D&D. So I'm sorry, but now you know why.
It makes so much more sense.
It was for something that was slightly more important than D&D.
Yeah, I just felt a little
so much
guilty.
more important. So much more
Tangentially
important.
more important.
World's more important.
But yes, I agree. So what we did was that night I wrote out myself a little itinerary, which I still have on my phone, which I don't think I've ever shown you. It's nothing crazy special, but actually I might have deleted it.
Well, it is
7
special because she said yes.
Yes. But I just typed out this list of this order of operations. So a while ago while we were dating, I had mentioned to her like how fun it was, like I think watching a sunset with her one time or something like that. And I said, hey, why don't we, during the summer, we should go somewhere really pretty and high up, like hopefully in the eastern Oregon, and see the sun rise. And then we could spend time hiking and doing stuff there, and then we could drive to the coast and see the sunset, because the sunset is always so beautiful at the Oregon coast. And we're like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Why don't we do that, right? This is months ago. And then as it got closer and closer and was becoming very apparent that I might be proposing soon, I was like, well, I have this idea that she already knows about, banked, that we could totally do, and I could use it for this really cool proposal. And so I've been working for well over a month, like well before you made it clear that I could propose. I've been trying to figure out how, because it just felt like maybe I would be proposing soon. So I talked to 2 people that I know that are big into hiking, Carson, who's one of the groomsmen, and then I talked to Josh Solinger at our men's group Bible study on Tuesday night. And I was like, hey guys, I was trying to be all sly, like, are there any hikes? And I put these really like strict qualifiers on it. Any hikes that aren't too strenuous and difficult, not a ton of elevation gain, because you do the elevation gain on the drive part, are somewhere in Eastern Oregon. What?
My tummy growled.
Oh, really?
And you just looked over at me.
And then it has like a clear view of the east so that you can see the sunrise. And they're like, it's pretty specific. Any reason? And I was like, just curious. And they're like, some question you're planning on asking him? I was like, wow, am I that transparent? And I was like,
Is there a
yes.
place
That's
that would
perfect.
be really good to like
propose to someone.
propose or have a picnic or anything else?
Yeah. And actually it worked out because they couldn't come up with anything on the spot that was like yes, but they had some ideas and we're looking at it and I couldn't really figure out. And like it was getting closer and closer and closer, and I was trying to do some stuff. And then Jude and I went to Blue Pool, which is a really, really pretty, like that, as far as strenuous activity, that's what I was hoping for. Like, it's not that difficult. It took us like 45 minutes to walk it.
If you took an hour, it would be really relaxed. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And almost nothing difficult to like hike through. But that wouldn't have worked. You know, it's like this crater surrounded by trees, basically. And so
Nuclear
you wouldn't be able to
fallout.
see,
That's not good.
you wouldn't see the sun rising until it's almost at noon. And so later,
Wake up later then.
Carson texted me, and this was like, Carson texted me on like the 1st, and I proposed on the 8th. Yeah, the 8th. And he's like, hey, there's a place called Mary's Peak. It's really pretty, highest mountain in the Willamette Valley. And so you can see the coast to your west, you can see the other mountains to your right, and he's like, it would be a beautiful place to see the sunrise. It's just a bit of a hike. He's like, but I'm pretty sure it's easy if I remember correctly. I've been there years ago. He's like, we should go on that hike and you could like test it out. And I was like, deal, let's do it. So on the 4th of July at 5 a.m., him and I drive to Mary's Peak. We're not going to be there for the sunrise. That's fine. We just want to see. It's like an hour-and-a-half drive. So even if I do go with this one, Peri and I, if we're going to go see the sunrise, we're going to have to leave home at like 3:15. She'd have to come over to my house. We'd have to leave at 3:15 in the morning, which is what we ended up doing. And so I went with Carson on 4th of July, this hike, and I just tell Peri, like, oh, we just decided last minute, like, we're going to go on this hike. It's really cool. You know, wanted to hang out with Carson. It was really fun. It was a much more intense hike than he remembered, but you can just drive basically to the top anyway, so it was fine. So research now done. I then, on the 5th, you know, obtain the ring, at least for the most part. Then I take the ring to Shanko, all this stuff. So I have this plan. Leading up to it, on Friday, I've got the ring in my hand, right? I've got this idea. I'm going to take her to see the sunrise, and then I'm going to kind of juke her out, and I'm going to propose at the sunrise where she wouldn't expect it, because she knows we're going to see the sunrise and the sunset. And I'm thinking she's probably going to expect me to do it at sunset, because everybody does that in Oregon. But I don't want to be like everybody. So I'm going to propose at sunrise, then we'll have the whole day to celebrate, have all this fun stuff we can go do. Great. And then the day before, or it wasn't the day before, it was on the 4th when I was with Carson, I was like, real second thoughts about how I was going to do it. because then I'm thinking like, there's a place that's really special to us. At least I was like, of my opinion, it was really special to us. It's where she took us on like, I don't know, we'd just been dating for a couple months, and where we danced together for the first time, and where we held hands for the first time. It was a really fun date too, because both of us were nervous to ask each other a separate question. She wanted to hold hands, I wanted to dance, and so the whole walk, at this wildlife refuge, we're both like thinking like, how do we ask? And I chickened out twice with this opportunity to ask her to dance. But I keep thinking like, maybe I should propose there. Like it would be so beautiful because this place is so special to us. And so I was talking to Carson literally on the way to Mary's Peak, where he's of the opinion that if this goes well, that's where I'm going to propose. And I'm like, we're passing on the freeway, the place. And I'm like, I feel like that's where I should do it. And he's like, well, then why are we going to Mary's Peak? It's like, well, it'll be fun for us to go on a hike. He's like, that's true. Yeah. We're like, yeah, that's fair. But it became abundantly clear after the hike, like I needed to pick one or the other. The hike would work, or I needed to pick Ankeny. And instead, I just picked both. So on Friday, I decided. Friday also, Jude knows this, I was like this close to just abandoning the entire plan and just coming over to her house and proposing to her. Like I talked to Jude and was like, dude, what if I just forget the entire plan? And she'll definitely be surprised if I just go over to her house, take her to the wildlife refuge, and propose. And then he was like, And then I was like real frazzled. Like, am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? I don't know. And then at some point I walked out of my room and he's like, are you doing it? I was like, no, not doing it. Sticking to the plan. So Saturday morning, 2:30 in the morning, I wake up. She meets me at 3:15. We drive to Mary's Peak, which I already know is going to be beautiful. There's this beautiful view, and it's going to be made even more beautiful by the fact that we're seeing the sun rise there. And we get there, and we're driving up the mountain, and it's like all foggy. And I'm super bummed because I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. The fog on this special day, like, this is just ridiculous. And as we're driving, she's like, I love the fog. This is so great. She has no idea what I have planned, of course. And I'm like, yeah, the fog is real great. Like, if we get up there, I wasn't planning on proposing here anymore, but still, I'm like, what if we're at the top and we're just surrounded by fog? Like, that's going to be so lame. We're not going to be able to see the sunrise, and we wouldn't have been able to. And she's like, yeah, but what if we peek through it and then we're above it? That'd be so cool. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, that would be cool. And she was right. We were above it. So I'll have Tim put a picture in. It was probably one of the single most beautiful things I've ever seen. Like, it was seriously just this ocean of clouds, and we watched the sun rise up over it. So it was really cool because we had this absolutely beautiful view. So then we're sitting there, we watched the sun rise, and then we go like up to the peak and see that. It was beautiful. I got so many great pictures. And meanwhile, I'm thinking like, I know where we're going next. I'm going to propose. This is going to be crazy. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I was nervous. And then meanwhile, she keeps like saying, let's just go do this. And I'm like, okay.
But he keeps saying like, you're like, oh, we have no plans, you know, we don't have to be anywhere till sunset, so we've got all this day.
I want her to think I am.
I was like, and then he's like checking his watch, like, you know, maybe we should go. And I was like, what the heck, dude? This is so fun. And I'm just thinking, this is fun. I was thinking, like, I want to go check out this little hole in the tree and go over here and look at this grasshopper.
It's getting real late. We're going to miss our not plans for 6 o'clock.
I was like, I'm just having fun.
Yeah. I don't think I was being a jerk about it.
No, you weren't.
You had to kind of put her in the line. You know?
What?
Yeah, he was putting me in my place. He's like,
jeez.
I'm in charge here.
No, the great thing is it was true. We didn't have anywhere we had to be by a certain time. I had just on my little itinerary thought, we'll spend about an hour and a half there. So by the time we get, or I think I wrote an hour, by the time we get to the wildlife refuge, it's back towards town, it'll be like 7:30, maybe 8 in the morning, which is great because that's not peak hours. There shouldn't be anybody there. We didn't leave till then. Like, we left past then. So we didn't get back till, like, I was just making sure I don't want to be there at like 10:30 or 11 because that's when everybody's there. We got there at 10:30. But that's the only reason I was like, you know, we've been here a while. Do we want to go? But I understand how for you it's got to be like, well, we drove an hour and a half to get here. Like, let's enjoy it as much as possible. Also, it's so beautiful. Why would we leave? And I agree. For that reason also, while we're there, I kept thinking, I'll just abandon my plan. Like, this is the most beautiful place in the world. I should propose here, of course. But I didn't and I almost did multiple times. I was like, I could just abandon it all and propose right here because it's so pretty. But I didn't because the other place is special. So eventually we did head back, and we go to this place to go on a walk where we've been before. And it was really important to me that one of the last things, if not the last thing that we do together before I proposed, was pray together. So we spent some time in prayer together, and then we walked. And one of the reasons that this place is so special is that date we went on. It was one where usually we'd be like, "Hey, what do you want to do this Saturday?" And she'd be like, "I don't know," and I'd be like, "I don't know either," and then we'd figure something out. But that Saturday, she had been like, "Hey, we're going here."
Yeah,
and this was
just
back
like
in
that.
December.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're going here.
And I remember I was sitting there thinking like, well, this is crazy. Usually she doesn't just say like, this is what we're doing. Usually we both go back and forth like, well, should we do this? Should we do that? And so the reason for that is because she had been planning and wanting to take me there, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't say like we're doing this. I was like, I think we should go on a walk,
Yes.
and I think
I'm
we should
sorry.
go here. It's so fun.
Yeah. But it was still like different. I remember feeling like this was different.
And I like threatened you and was like,
She did
"You
threaten me with a
have
knife.
to."
Don't you love me?
The flies
Okay.
on your head.
Don't you love me?
But while we were there, this is back in December, it was like, well, we're walking around and it's this beautiful boardwalk over this like watery area, and there's lots to see. And we're walking, and there's like this little gazebo area, not a gazebo, yeah, like a gazebo where you can watch birds from. And we looked at it for a little while, and I'm sitting here thinking there were these weddings that we were going to go to in January. I'm like, we should practice dancing because we're being expected to dance together there. And I'm like, I should ask her to dance under this gazebo. Like, that would be so romantic and sweet. And I chickened out. And then we walked past it, and then we had to turn around and walk back that way. So here we go. I'm thinking I'm getting a second chance. We're walking past this gazebo again, and I'm like freaking out inside, and then I chicken out again. We're almost to the car, and then I'm like, Peri, we've got weddings coming up that we're going to. We're expected to dance. We should really practice dancing. Will you dance with me? And she said that she would. And then I was like, great, there's a spot back there. We should go dance. Because in my head, I'm thinking like, dude, when am I going to get another opportunity like this? Stop being such a coward. So I said it, right? So we go back to the gazebo, and on the way back, I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, this is going to be awkward. Like, I've never even given her a hug before at this point. We've never held hands. I was like, that's kind of like part of dancing, at least to some extent. So I'm sitting here like, all right, how do I, without making this as least awkward as possible? Like, Peri, dancing is kind of like, part of it, you kind of basically hug each other or hold hands and move to music. So, and then I look, and she's not at my side anymore. And I was like, what the heck? Where did she go? And I look behind me, and she's standing there with her hand stretched out, and she was like, will you hold my hand? And I remember thinking like, well, of course, that's part of, oh, you mean like for real? And so it was, the reason that place is so special, I think, is because like, to me, it's also beautiful. But that place, we were both like, the whole walk had an intention that we were thinking about, and both of us were like nervous to ask. And then it kind of happened at the same time. Like, and it made it easier for both of us, and it was great. And so we started a tradition now, because we danced under that gazebo. Each time we go there, we do that. And so here, fast forward again, way forward to when I'm planning on proposing. I'm like, I have to do it there. Like, we walk, I could ask her to dance. We could dance under this gazebo, and I could propose, and it would be so beautiful, right? Well, we're there, we pray together, and I ask her what her favorite date that we've ever been on was, and she gave a great answer. And you want to, I don't remember if you... Do you know which one you said?
Yeah, I said our second date
Yeah.
when we walked, and it was, again, that was one I planned.
Yeah.
And we went walking because I love to walk, and it was like pouring down rain, and we got soaked.
That's why I think it's a great answer.
But I loved it.
Because then we
It's
went
so
to
fun.
Momiji's and got sushi afterward, and my jacket had soaked through, so I had these
Yeah.
weird wet spots all over my shirt, and it looked really funny. But I was like, okay, that's a great answer. Do you want to know mine? And then I told her the story I just told you guys, obviously, the time that we were there first. And so that this place was where my favorite date we'd been on was. And then I was like, we should dance. It's our tradition. So we're dancing. I had this other plan throughout the day, right? Which was, her and I have this coin that we pass back and forth. It's not really a coin. It's a little square piece of metal. But we have minted it as a coin. And when you see that the other person might be kind of deep in thought, if you have the coin, you give it to them and ask them what they're thinking. And no matter what it is, you have to tell the other person. And so sometimes it's ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, I think one time I saw a goat jump off that cliff. You know, like if that's what you were thinking, it's like, well, that's what you paid for. Or other times it's something really sweet, right? And I was like, man, can you imagine if I could orchestrate it in such a way so that she wonders what I'm thinking, gives me this coin, and the thing I'm thinking about is my whole lead up to and then proposal. And so while we were at Mary's Peak looking at the sunrise, I had like just dumped the coin onto her. Like I had given it to her like at a random time where I knew she didn't have her purse, so she'd have to put it in her pocket so it would be with her. And it worked. And I was really afraid that at some point during the day, or unfortunately like right beforehand, she'd get it back to me and I'd have to just be like, that's interesting. Now what are you thinking? But it didn't happen. So then we're dancing and it was wonderful. And I was like, how am I going to get her to ask me what I'm thinking? Wouldn't it be amazing if she just did? So I just kept kind of going like, And then nothing happened.
He's trying too hard.
And then she said something, I don't remember what it was, but it was kind of sweet. And I went, and I didn't wait long enough. And then I went, because I'm really nervous, right? So I had gone, And then she said something sweet. And at that point, it didn't really register. I said, oh, I'll say the other thing I had ready. That's a nice thought. But it sounded like I was responding to what she had said.
Yeah.
So then she's just like, yeah, it is. And I'm like,
So the plan was to just kind of in silence be like, that's a nice thought.
yeah. Which maybe sounds creepy. I don't think, but
No,
I was just trying. And then
yeah.
I'm like, okay, dude, you're losing it. Like you're absolutely failing over here. And then I just waited a little bit longer. And I think I just retried. And then you asked.
You said something like, you said that's a nice thought. And then you, like, I was just like, And then you were like, you just kind of made it clear like it was like your thought though or something. And then you were like, I mean, if you want to know, you'll have to pay up for that thought.
Yeah.
So you kind of made me.
Sorry, it's going to take a little something.
Yeah. Well, maybe not as magical then as.
But I was just like, this is great.
And this has happened
fun.
before. Like I've done that before where I've had something sweet that I thought, and I've been like, well, if you want to hear it, then you got to pass me the coin.
I was just like, oh, I like, we always dance here. This is nice. And then when you said that, like, well, you'll have to pay up, I was like, psh, dude, I got it right in my pocket. Loser.
So she grabbed it.
And he planted it there.
Well, would you look at
So
that?
who's the loser now? She gives me the coin, and I was like, all right, this one's a big one. Like, are you ready? Do you want this thought? And she was like, well, sure. So I put the coin in my pocket, not the pocket the ring was in. And then I started talking. And I said a lot of stuff that I had planned, right? I had written a lot of it out ahead of time, so I made sure there were some certain things I said.
And we're still dancing.
We were still dancing, yeah. Because at that point, we started dancing again. And after like a couple minutes, I knew it's like, I'm not going to get through the whole thing. Because I think it's more important that I say some important things than fully surprise her. It's like, I'm not going to get through the whole thing without her maybe thinking that that's what's going on. And I definitely didn't, right? There was a point where you were like...
Like, at first, you started talking, and it just sounded like the sweet things you usually say. And then... What?
Nothing.
Keep going, just keep going, just keep
It's
going.
funny. I thought it was just one of those suave things you usually say.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Not suave. It was one of those suave
No, he
things
wouldn't say
you
anything
usually say.
suave. He
No.
would just say sweet things.
And
He's a
then,
big doughy guy on the inside.
And the outside.
That is such a weird way.
and then, like, as you were talking, I was like, we're dancing, and I was kind of like, well, that's sweet. And then it went on, and I was like, you started talking about, like, more like forever sort of things, and I was like, either this guy's a jerk because he's just saying these things and not gonna, like,
Yeah, do anything.
do anything about it. And he's just like taunting me, like,
It'd be so
man,
crazy if we were married. It'd be so wild.
I wasn't saying that.
Yeah.
like, oh, you know, I wanna love you forever, and it's like, well, dude, you're not engaged to me. I was like, man, he's either a jerk or he's gonna propose to me. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I think he might propose to me.
I think he's a jerk.
Oh my gosh. I think he might be a jerk.
Say, you're like, then you decided, I don't think he's proposing, so.
No, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was difficult to get through that whole thing too without like freaking out. And obviously like we're dancing, so I knew she could hear how fast my heart was like
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I'm freaking out inside. And then I did ask her. And she said, "Give me 10 years."
And I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
10 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she said yes. And it was incredible. It was super cool. So there's the whole story. I don't think I forgot anything, right?
Confetti.
Just the part that she laughed at you.
No.
No,
at
she did
first-
say, like, "Are you really doing this?"
So like,
and then later I talked to you about it, and you said you didn't remember
no, I remember saying.
me, well, what I said. The words I said, because I was like, I said, "Victoria Peri Wood, will you marry me?" And then she's like, oh no, it was before. It's like when I was getting down on one knee, you were like, "Are you really proposing?" I said, "Yes, of course." And then I said, "Victoria Peri Wood, will you marry me?"
Yeah, I didn't hear all of that, but I heard
She was in
the
shock.
important part. You know, I was
Victoria
like, wait, what
Peri
did you
Wood.
say again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say what?
One more time.
Yeah.
The wire didn't pick that up.
Wait, so what did I forget? Did I forget something?
Like we were dancing and you were saying all those things, and then I started realizing, I was like, oh, he's gonna propose or he's a jerk.
I like how that's still
he's
an
a
option. Yeah. He's really gonna propose, or he might be a
I was
jerk.
like, no, he's gonna propose, I think. But we were like dancing, so like I couldn't see him, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then when you got to the point, you like I could feel you like reach in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? I can't believe he's like gonna propose to me. This is crazy. And then you can tell the rest of that.
Yeah, it was funny because like she's still holding me really tightly, and I'm trying to get the ring out of my pocket. And finally, you know, because of that, I had to kind of like awkwardly dig it out of my pocket, and then I have it, and I reach around her back, and I'm making sure that it's like facing upward, and now I'm holding it, and I've said everything I was gonna say, but she's still like gripping me
'Cause I was
tightly.
kind of freaking out.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh.
understandably, I could be a jerk, right? And I was like, and at that point, I was like, well, I started to kind of like push back so that I could get down on one knee. I couldn't. She was like gripping me. And so I go, "Peri, you're probably gonna have to stand back for this part."
I remember you told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the line that stuck out to me the most. I was like, that's
Really?
beautiful.
Is that a
I
good
was
line?
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Very.
I was
mean,
afraid that was like awkward because I was
No,
like,
it was-
That's
"Peri, you're gonna have to
beautiful. Very
hold on."
real,
maybe
very
I'm
romantic,
just crazy.
very-
I
Yeah.
was like, maybe I'm
Yeah.
crazy. Maybe he's not going to propose. Maybe I'm just like crazy. I don't know. And then you said that, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, are you for real?
Yeah,
This
that
is
you're like, "Are you really doing this?" And I was
doing this?
getting down on one knee because I had to like kind of push her away a little bit. Like, "You're gonna have to step back for the next part." And then I was like, "Yes, of course, absolutely." So it was pretty cool. It was a great day.
Yeah, that was like the most beautiful part when you told me, because I've never seen that in the movie because it's too real of a thing for someone to think about when writing a script. It feels like
Yeah,
I would
write
never
that in.
imagine. Yeah, that was just I love that.
You're gonna have to stand back.
Will you
That's
count
so-
off on me?
It's great too because I guess then, because I originally had this plan of doing the sunrise and sunset thing so that I could say to her this line that I had written, and it's not even nearly as good as that, I think. And the line was like, at the end of the day, I could look at her and say, "Well, look at this," or something, you know, like, "We started the day, we saw the sunrise, and we were dating, and now we see the sunset, and we're fiancés." Like, I thought it'd be sweet to like say something like that, and I like that sort of thing, right? And I guess without realizing it, I still got a great line in, and it was, I had to say something. Yeah.
It was sweet.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Because then I knew. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. For
Yeah.
sure. He's not a jerk.
So then we spent like 2.5 hours there talking about it, talking to each other about why, like for her, like why she said yes, and for me, why I believed it was right to ask, and that I think was really important to both of us. And then we got a great photo, such a great photo, and I can't believe it turned out so great because it was a selfie, but it doesn't look like it. And then I was like, we can still go see the sunset. That was our plan, or we can go get lunch because we were both starving. And so we went and got lunch at the pizza place where we went for our first date.
Chuck E. Cheese.
And yep.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
And then we can like go tell all our family. And originally I thought it could be kind of fun to just keep it a secret for like days, like tell nobody, you know. But it would be hard with the ring.
It would be
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't want to not wear the ring.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked nice, you know.
Also, it'd be more fun to tell everybody.
Yeah.
So we decided. So we just kind of like did a quick trip to all of our family's houses and stuff, and told people. And then we had young adult group that night, so we didn't go because we wanted to tell our family. But keep in mind, we'd been up since like 2 a.m. or she'd been up since 2 a.m. I was awake since 2:30, and so by the time we get back after talking to the last bit of family and she gets home and I'm leaving, it was like 10:30 at night. Yeah. So it had been so long.
And I kept getting car sick like throughout the day. I was so car sick. And I was like, by the end of the day, I was like, I love you. I think I'm going to throw up. Oh my gosh.
I
like,
love
I'm
you so much.
happy.
I'm going to throw up.
I'm so happy, but I also am so tired. And I think I'm going to throw up.
It was like 20 or 21 hours of being awake. It was rough, but it was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. But I heard some screaming downstairs.
There's some intercom going on.
Yeah, there's been intercom going on
I
downstairs.
don't think we're picking it up.
Okay. But yeah, so it was a great day. Absolutely incredible. I don't think I'm forgetting anything.
That's beautiful.
And I wanted to tell, I don't think I fully explained the entire story to you guys yet.
You did not.
So I think it's worth doing. And also for people to listen. And we were joking, like, this is a great way now, whenever people ask us, we can clip this and just send them this clip and then not have to worry about telling them the story. So I love telling the story.
Your grandma's like, oh, tell me everything. Here you go. It's on our podcast.
Yeah.
You love what?
No, I was just about to say that. I loved my grandma's reaction.
Oh, it was
when
so
we
sweet.
told her, she was like, oh my gosh.
She was sitting there like this,
so
and
cute.
And we got there, and they were just chatting away, and we're like, okay, we've only got so much time with each person. Like, we've only have so many hours in the day. Let's go to all these people's houses. And so we're just kind of talking for 20 minutes or something. I keep looking at Peri like, and she's like, I'm like, come on, tell them, because they had no idea. They didn't see the ring, and so we're just sitting there, and then finally, she like, there's a moment of pause in conversation, and she's like, we got engaged. Right?
Yeah, my grandma was just blown away.
Because she's just sitting there totally normal, and she's just like, oh. It was so sweet.
so
and then her
cute.
grandpa like stomped his feet on the ground. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like sitting in his chair, like it was so sweet.
And your grandpa, I love what, didn't he say, hot dog?
Yeah, we called Gaga.
Gaga said hot dog.
We called Gaga, and he goes, well, hot diggity dog. It's about time. We've been waiting 18 years. So,
We've been waiting since you were 7.
yeah, well, don't think about it. I don't know if we talked about that on the podcast, but Peri and I have known each other since we were 7.
Oh, that's why they said that.
Yeah.
because everyone was setting them
I
up
see, I see,
from the
I see.
get-go.
Yeah, everybody, it's always been.
It's always
been.
It was the prophecy.
The prophecy.
Yeah.
The prophecy is true.
The prophecy is
true.
Yeah. So that was super sweet. And then I was trying to surprise people. So like I texted Joel and Jenna and tried to find out where Mom was, and they were all at a lake. And I was like, well, we'll drive out there. Then they went to a different lake that was even farther away, so we didn't do that. But it was worth it. It was super fun. Such a great day. And so we're like way into the episode at this point. Like we haven't talked about anything else, and I'm sorry about that for those listening if you were hoping for a more theologically oriented episode. And Peri, I'm sorry because I know you had a topic that you wanted to talk about.
Free will versus predestination.
It was
yeah.
Arminian Calvinist.
Yeah.
Perry's a big Calvinist.
Massive Calvinist. That is one sticking point.
Yeah. Whoa. What are you saying? I'm not a Calvinist?
In their relationship.
Really? You think I'm not a Calvinist?
No, this is like
You were predestined to say that.
I thought you were a Christian.
I thought you were Christian.
That's I love Mikey Noodles.
You're like, I thought you were one of the elect.
I love
Jerry.
Mikey Noodles.
Jeez, don't call him out like that.
You didn't. It's the.
You know, one thing that's great about Mikey Noodles and the whole Calvinist thing is like he pokes fun at both sides. It's really funny.
It's
he
completely
always roasts me, and
non-salvationist. It's a beautiful dichotomy
Yeah.
we have where one's right and one's wrong. But,
Where one's right and one's wrong.
I won't say the two.
if there's one thing though about all this that I can say, and I, it's very, very apparent, is apparent, is God's hand was in all of it, and I'm very grateful. I've talked to her a lot about this lately, but God has taught me a lot the last year to just rely on Him and not to be so worried about the details, which is something that I can absolutely worry about and I struggle with. And at every step throughout our relationship, but then like just highly concentrated in this like week of big events, it was like, man, I really hope I can do something this way. I think it would be right. And then it doesn't look like I'll be able to, and I would have to go, God, it is entirely in your hands, and I trust you to take care of it. And if it doesn't look the way that I wanted it to look, that's okay, because it'll look the way you wanted. And then God's essentially been like, how about better than you hoped? And that has happened at every single step, right? In our relationship, and it's happened at every single step with the whole proposal and with the wedding planning and everything. It's been incredible. And so I think I was reminded of it when like we were driving up the mountain, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because I worry, and so like my mind is coming up with all these things, and it's like I had this huge idea, and it's already ruined before it's even started. You know, my brain is like trying to trip me up. And she reminded me, right? Like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be beautiful no matter what. And she doesn't know what I'm thinking, but still, she's right. And, you know, that got my attention. And I was sitting there thinking, like, why am I worried, right? So I'm driving up this mountain through the fog. I can barely see. And I'm thinking, like, why am I even worried? Because however this goes, I know it will go the way that God wants. Because we believe we're doing what God wants. We're doing this for Him. And we're seeking to glorify Him in it. And I do nothing. I serve no good purpose by being like, this is ruined. You know, I wanted it to go this other way. And so time and time again, it's been like, God has been showing me, dude, stop caring so much about your plans for the future. Stop caring that things have to go a specific way. Just let go of it and trust me to take care of it. And I've always been like, okay, and I hope it goes this way, but even if it doesn't. And He's just been like, well, how about better than your hope, you know? And it's been incredible. And I don't say that to say like, it's always going to go, like if your mentality is, I want this, but God, even if I don't get this, I'll be happy, because you're hoping for better. You're like, I want, you know, it's like, to use money as an example. If you're like, I really need $100, but God, even if if I act this way, maybe He'll give me 1,000. So God, even if I don't get 100, I'll be okay. Now He's going to give me 1,000 or whatever. You know, it's like, that's ridiculous, right? But what is true is that it will always go that way. It will always go it's better than I ever hoped, if you really do believe that whatever God has planned is better, right? And if you really do seek to just entirely rely on Him, and if your life is about expressing God's glory, to steal that from Creekside, if your life is really, really focused on that, then at every step in following Him, it will always have been better than you hoped. Because the Creator of the universe has obviously got something way better than you could ever imagine. And I can say that from first experience. Absolutely. I think most of us can, right? But it's been a concentrated amount of it. And like all these little things, like with the ring, you know, I'm like, I have to buy a ring. It's so much money. And I know, like, it's more important to us that we have money for our life someday. Like, we don't want to spend an arm and a leg on that. And then God provided. Somebody immediately reached out and was like, I have a ring if you want it. And I'm like, well, the ring doesn't look like what I think she would like to wear. And then I found something well below budget that would be perfect. And I think she loves it.
I love it.
And it's so pretty. And then, like, taking it out there and just me being like, well, I hope I can get it by Saturday so I can propose next Saturday. God, even if I can't, I'm totally fine with it. And I believed that. Like, I'm like, this is in your time. It always has been. And then He's like, well, how about Friday so you can propose this Saturday, right? And then just a bunch of little things like that. And then we took the ring back to get it resized, and it was just like, I got a little cocky this time, if I'm being honest, because I was like, every step, God's had my back. I have nothing to be worried about. And I don't know if I should say I was being cocky. Like, I just believed in him to take care of me. And and the lady's like, well, if you want this resized, like, she didn't want to be apart from the ring for a bunch of days. She's like, it's probably going to be Thursday, but I can ask the jeweler guy and see if it's anything better. And I'm like, why don't you ask him? Like, here I'm thinking, like, God's had my back this whole time. Why didn't you ask him? And in my head, I'm thinking, like, I bet you it'll be Tuesday. And then she comes back, she's like, you can have it tomorrow, Monday. And I was like, what? Yeah. So that one was kind of
almost like, hey, careful.
Yeah.
I'm still going to follow through.
It was.
I always follow
I felt
through.
afterward, I was like, that was,
Yeah.
But it was funny how, like, even that one, it was like, no, God's had my back this whole time. I'm not worried. And even if it is Thursday, it'll be fine. And he's like, well, how about Monday? No, it's just been a lot of that. And it's really refreshing because I think, well, one thing that I do love about Peri, one of the primary things, is that I know that she loves God more than me and she puts him first. And so there's a constant reminder for me to glorify him first. And I think that if the two of us continue to do that for one another, obviously things will go pretty well. Because if we're seeking to glorify God first, then, well, life is as he has planned, like all good Calvinists believe. Believe like a Calvinist and act like an Arminian, like Matt always says. So, there's my wrap it all up. Since this episode's just been some fun little stories, and then me talking for 35 minutes about how I proposed. But I hope that you enjoyed this episode.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And now everybody knows you can expect an episode where the four of us are in suit and tie.
Next time.
No, it'll be a little while.
Transition, we're all in suits.
Save this episode for then.
Oh my goodness. The one where Jerry proposed, the one where Jerry gets married.
Yeah.
The one where Jerry proposed, the one where Perry gets married, so it's like perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm apparently not going to be there.
No.
Nope.
We're doing a Zoom thing because there's work. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah, it'll be a Zoom wedding. Like that episode of New Girl or whatever.
the little robot with the screen.
But yeah, I hope that I didn't like overwhelm the podcast episode with just stuff about me.
No, this is a huge announcement. This is a life-altering announcement of one of the
as long as
co-hosts.
Perry's okay with it.
This is important.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Actually, let's not air this one.
Yeah, let's not. We'll throw it away. Tim, you can cut all this.
Was that Frank?
I think so.
Is Frank getting excited about the
Frank,
wedding?
hello.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness, is Frank coming?
Is Frank going to give us some marriage advice?
Oh my gosh.
From a dead World War I veteran? Or whatever war Frank was in?
Well, hang on.
of the
We'll
wars.
read Frank's note. Is there anything else that we want to talk about on this episode, or are we good closing on this?
I think we're good
I think we're
closing
good
on
closing on
Does
this.
Frank want you to read that, or you want to?
I can't read. I can't read Frank's handwriting. It's in cursive.
this. Oh, cursive.
Of course, Frank would
He
write
said
cursive.
it says something to Jude.
Cursive is always a
but
bit.
He's from the old times.
yeah, he's from old times.
Does Frank want me to read this, you think? What is this? Frank, my goodness, says, a woman on my podcast? I'll allow it.
Wow. All right.
Jude, I'll never forget our time together in Guantanamo. We gotta. And with that, we're gonna wrap this episode up and never talk about that again. Frank and I have never met each other. We've never spent any time together. Until next time.
Thank you guys for
Wait,
listening.
wait. I can't believe you were going to do that.
I was even thinking about this
What the
wrong.
heck?
Perry, we have a tradition around here for our guests. You have to tell us a
That's
joke.
right.
Oh my god.
Perry actually brought it up. I
You're
thought
the
about
first
it this
guest to
morning.
remember the guest.
goodness. I'm sorry.
I've had a joke just stored away. I haven't told you it. Even I've
Yeah.
laughed at it before, and then be like, I can't. I'm not going to say what it is.
There's literally been times where we've been sitting and she just started laughing. I'm like, what? And she goes, I'm thinking about the joke that I would tell if I was on the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Perry,
Take it away.
let her rip.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I guess I am a jerk. He was a jerk the whole time.
Okay.
Creep is the song.
I was replacing it with.
Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
Do you know it? I don't know.
Because they're birds.
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
Oh my god.
That's
That's a joke straight
contending.
from kindergarten.
That's
a good
contending
one.
for the first place spot in guest jokes.
That's
For
pretty
first
good.
place?
I think so. Yeah.
What did we say before was first place?
Mine.
No.
You never
Can't
told
remember.
a joke as a guest.
You tell lots of jokes, but none of them are
It's
good. That
don't
was
know.
really good. Thank you for
That was
remembering.
really good.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
that I forgot.
That one comes up a lot in kindergarten where I work.
Yeah.
And, you know, kids love it. I love it.
Because it's similar to battles.
Kills.
You know,
in
it
kindergarten.
It kills in
Yeah,
kindergarten.
it really does.
We basically didn't talk about you at all, and usually for most guests, we're like, "Tell us about yourself." Like, well, obviously we did talk about her, but I mean, like, we didn't do it normal stuff. So I guess you'll have to be back sometime.
Oh, man.
Only if Jacob comes back or not comes back, just does an episode.
So you're
Jacob?
like,
You're
throwing out
making
the gauntlet.
demands?
You're throwing out a gauntlet. Jacob, you're
What?
watching right
my
now.
family, I can do that.
Mi familia.
Pretty soon you'll be my family, dude. So
I'll have to be a guest.
you'll have to be a guest.
On her
On Jacob's podcast.
On
On
my
Jacob's,
podcast.
on Celeste's podcast.
All right, Jacob, the gauntlet's been thrown.
Dum dum.
We've talked about it. You've been slacking. Are you gonna be on?
We'll find out next time.
Thanks for
on
listening, guys.
Under the Influence.
Thank you for watching. We love you very much.
Roll the outro.
I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are.